Movement making is really about how we respond to a move of God. Our job in leading a movement is to be constantly seeking clarity on where God is moving. And one of our greatest skills to find that clarity is the skill of listening well. It's important to note that listening in the context of movements is different than the way we listen in most other settings, especially in organizational settings. So let's highlight those differences. In organizational settings, communication is downward. It is downward and seeks to win support. In movements, communication is upward. It is upward and seeks to gain clarity. In our case, to understand where God is moving. This type of listening, this upward communication, is called humble inquiry. Humble inquiry is described as the gentle art of asking and not telling, and especially in a culture that values telling. As you lead your local movement, creating a safe place for upward communication helps you find the path forward. It helps you understand how and where God is moving. And as the people of God come together to advance the kingdom of God, the people you lead want to know that you are pursuing the will of God, joining Him in His great work of redeeming and restoring families. In the first 3 years of our work in San Antonio, I sat down with 270 people from 75 organizations. It was an exciting season of discovery where one person led us to another, who led us yet to another, and I found that God was already at work, that He was already moving, that there were hundreds of talented people serving marriages all across the city. We just didn't know one another, and we weren't helping one another. We were isolated and alone in our work. Creating healthy upward communication was the goal of all 270 conversations. And as I experimented with questions that brought out the best in people, I refined a list of 5 strategic questions. Those 5 questions gave me a framework to make every conversation valuable. Edgar Schein, the author of the book Humble Inquiry, says that what builds relationship, what solves problems, what moves things forward is asking the right questions. You know, I loved the opportunity to sit and hear from people, to meet these amazing people who are serving marriages. And I remember framing up this series of 5 questions that really brought that out of people, because as I was meeting with people, I was really preparing to take them on a journey. To take them on a journey that helped form vision in their mind of their own journey, of their own path to redeeming and restoring marriages. And so the list of questions, my 5 questions, would go something like this. First of all, I wanted to open with a very broad, general question that would kind of get them going in a strong, healthy direction, something that would kind of calm them down and kind of prepare them for the journey ahead. And my opening question, it was always something like this. It would be something like, well, I've heard great things about you. I hear that you're doing amazing work to serve marriages. And just tell me about what you're doing. What's going on with that? It's a big, broad, open question. And I loved hearing people talk about the work and what they're excited about. My second question was really taking them back and then helping them kind of create a chronological pathway of their journey. And so my second question was always this. It was, tell me about how this is part of your personal story. What is it in your life, in your story, that brought you to this place? Tell me about your story. My third question was always really intended to refine their thinking and to kind of get them going in a very specific direction. My third question was always this. Tell me, what is the one thing that you're most excited about? As you think about the future, as you think about the coming weeks and months, what is the one thing that's top of mind that you are most excited about? This helps people begin moving in a specific direction. And it's always fun to hear kind of what's percolating in people's minds. My fourth question is really a surprising question to them. In fact, very often people will tell me that no one has ever asked them this question. My fourth question is always this. So tell me, what's the roadblock you face? What's in the way of you moving forward on this one thing that you're most excited about? And I found that as I asked that question, I needed to prepare myself for a long, quiet pause, a silence, to allow them to kind of think through, what is it that's in the way of this issue? My fifth question is always this: what can I do to help you take your next step? That is an amazing question because it really helps them think about what is the breakthrough. And I want you to know that when I ask that sort of question, I'm not assuming that I will be the answer to that question. What I know about communities and what I know about movements is that everyone's need is met by the strength of another. And so as I'm listening to what it would be necessary to help them take their next step, I'm thinking about who in this movement could help them with that journey, who could help them take that next step. As we ended those conversations, I was almost always asked about the marriage initiative. What is our mission and purpose? And I found that the most effective way to answer the question was to ask a question, or actually to ask a series of questions. I did that by asking a series of rhetorical questions that helped people form vision, helped people dream about how we were better together. I would start by saying we are hearing from some amazing and talented people just like you. We're asking people, what do you see God doing? And what would it look like if we came together and began helping each other? And what would it look like if we found the problems that were collectively ours? And what would it look like if we came together to solve those problems? Asking these questions puts you in a great place where you're not pushing your own agenda or selling your program or even advancing your own mission. You're still practicing the gentle art of asking. I ask questions that nudge people to think about how we can come together. I want to help them form a compelling vision in their own mind of how we can help each other, because that's what everyone wants. Everyone needs help. Most people feel very isolated and alone, and most people are struggling with challenges and roadblocks. What I love about this is that I'm inviting people to help create the future. In our conversation, we are co-creating the future together. This is essential to movements because people own what they help to create. As you invite people into the process of creating the future together, they feel a sense of ownership in that future. So when I ask the question, would you be for us coming together to help each other? The answer is always yes. Would you be for helping one another achieve our dreams? Yes. Would you be for helping one another overcome our roadblocks? Yes. The answers are most often yes, yes, and yes. And I always finish by inviting people into relationship. So often I hear myself saying, I've been meeting so many talented, amazing people just like you, and I would like for you to meet them, and I know they would like to meet you. And what if in the coming months we came together in person to meet one another and learn from one another and find ways to help one another? Would you like to be a part of that? Yes. As you meet with people, as you celebrate their work of strengthening families, as you find the vital connections that bind us together, you earn the respect that is necessary to lead the movement forward. God is moving powerfully in communities. We believe He desires to redeem and restore the family by His power and for His glory. And as you lead your people to join Him there, that is a journey that others will want to take with you.